We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, if you love everything in college football, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends if you want to support this college football's rebel outpost, the home for the true college football sickos. With a donation to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel, just hit that dollar sign where you make a comment, and I'll get you super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio, even the evil badger himself, Jeff Olson, the evil badger. Welcome everybody into the studio that sits on the corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. It is Wednesday, October 29th. It is the day we make our picks against the spread. PATC Einsteins against the spread this year are 58 and 63. While yours truly, Greg the Cooler the last couple of weeks, yours truly is 62 and 59. I'm looking for a big week. The last 2 days I've given you the 11 games. You guys go first this week. I go second. You guys go first. I go second. I think that's how it's going to happen. And we are going to rock and roll. First of all, Rock and Rant, is LSU about not to go after a big game now, which might actually be the best decision for them? Let's go and roll the tape. The governor of Louisiana, the great state of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, says the following.
The first question is absolutely correct. We are not going down a failed path. And I wanted to tell you something. This is a pattern. The guy that's here now that wrote that contract cost Texas A&M $70-something million. Right now, we got a $53 million liability. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners. You know? I'm not going to be picking the next coach. But I can promise you, we're going to pick a coach, and we're going to make sure that that coach is successful. And we're going to make sure that he's compensated properly. And we're going to put metrics on it. Because I'm tired of rewarding failure in this country. And then leaving the taxpayers on the foot, to foot the bill. So, yeah, I absolutely. Who's that? No. I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it. I don't know, but the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach. Because, wait, I want to hold on. One real quick thing on that. Because here's what y'all reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking at who represents all these people. Like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodward's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent. Like, you realize if I would be, I don't know how many sports writers we got here today? Just you. You should have a bunch. Okay? Like, this is ridiculous. Lawyers would be disbarred for the way these agents act and the way they're able to represent. In fact, there's no doubt, they may even represent some of the players now. Like, it's really time for the NCAA to put on some guardrails in college sports. Because, and it's fine. We don't need the guardrails. If big billionaires want to spend all that kind of money, no problem. But if I got to go find $53 million from Kemp, it's not going to be a pleasant conversation. I'm just telling you. I know. And I think that that's important as well. Y'all should start looking into that.
Okay. First of all, that was the governor of Louisiana. And I'm not picking on Louisiana. I'm not. I would say a good 95% of the governors, if you've had them up in front of the microphone talking about the college football program that represents most of the state, they probably sound as, I'm trying to be nice, but first of all, the governor, God bless him, had a few things absolutely incorrect. The names he named out, they don't all share the same agent. None of them have the same agent. So when a governor says something like that, they probably should make sure they're accurate. But on a bigger note, this is a prime example. A prime example. Look. It is going to take a miracle shot. It is going to take a miracle shot for the federal government, to be able to come together, have compromises between the two political parties, and actually give a carve out to college sports so it doesn't get pulverized by lawyers and their agents and their lawyers for the next 20 years. It is going to take a miracle. But that's basically our only shot to save college football, the game that we love, really. But outside of that, this is a prime example of why, other than what I just said, boy, the governors, the states, I get it. Most of these universities are public universities that have FBS programs, but get the government out of it because they don't. I mean, even in this simplistic little press conference, even with the governor barely saying anything at all, but yet saying a whole lot. Did he take LSU out of the running to get a Lane Kiffin? Did he take LSU out of the running to get a James Franklin? Did he take LSU out of the running to get a top-tier head football coach? Because he doesn't want to put the liability on the university, doesn't want to put the liability, he doesn't want to have a big buyout. Well, if you don't have a big buyout, can you get the top flight head coach? That's my question. That's my question. If you want the top dudes, if you want to be in that marketplace, it's going to cost a lot. You're going to have to belly up to the bar. And does LSU not willing to belly up to the bar because the governor says we cannot have that type of liability on our hands? Well, it should not be the liability of the state government. It should be within the athletic department of their major university. But did the governor say something that maybe he should not have said? I think so. But man, oh man, are we going to have governors coming up to the microphone? And there are people out there. There are people out there that want a government charter, a government entity to look over all of college sports in some sort of super league. The Cody Campbell idea, you got to be out of your mind. You got to be out of your mind. You got to be out of... I apologize for those who truly believe a government charter is the way to go because they're going to make better decisions than the university presidents and their commissioners. I don't think so. I don't think so. Government is already in sports, but you want government to make Oklahoma State's decisions? No, you don't, MBM. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want the government making the decision who's the head coach, who's going to be. You don't want the government to make any of those decisions. You don't want the government to decide who the Big 12 expands with or what does Oklahoma State do in the next 10 years. I don't believe that for a second. I do not believe that for a second. Tim Brando has PJ Fleck on his LSU hot board. I would not know because Tim Brando blocked me about 5 years ago. So, and he blocked me. Same thing with, who's that guy? Who's the other guy on Fox? Oh, gosh. What's Travis? Clay Travis? What's his name? Is it Clay Travis? Is that his name? I'm getting his name incorrect. Is it Clay Travis? Clay whatever. Tim Brando blocked me because I politely corrected him. He went on a rant about NBA ratings, and I politely corrected him on something. He went after me and blocked me right out of the blue. So I don't know what Tim Brando says. Not Joe Klatt. Clay Travis? It's Clay Travis, yeah. And then Clay Travis blocked me because I put out a link that had that contradicted some of what he was saying and how Las Vegas makes their morning lines. It was a simple, well, wait, what about this information? I put out a link, and then Clay Travis says, okay, guys, get them, or get them, boys. And then Clay Travis says something like, oh, my followers are going to attack you. And I'm like, what? I don't even know what's going on. And suddenly I'm blocked, and I had thousands of people going after me. Anyways, this was before I was a podcaster. He blocked me. Anyway, it don't matter. It don't matter. I don't think Fleck is on LSU's. Fleck would not be a good fit at LSU. John Till, thank you for the super chat. Put a mic back in his face, Florida Gators. Yeah. That's a good, very good comment, John Teal. Absolutely. Again, I'm sure, I'm sure LSU is going to get themselves a really good head coach. And I'm, the governor probably did not hurt their cause. I'm probably going overboard, but I don't know. The governor, we're in the silly season of the coaching carousel. We're already in silly season, October 29th. Unbelievable. And it's only going to get more crazy. Get more crazy. Nick Boardman, I know you had a question about the Virginia Tech thing. I have poked and prodded. I don't know. I see the rumors are out there that James Franklin is going to be announced the new head football coach of Virginia Tech. Nobody has told me that. Nobody has said that's about to happen. It might happen, but I don't have any of. I poked and prodded on that rumor, and I came up completely empty. So I don't know. I came up completely empty. Okay, let's do a roll call here. We've got a lot to do here today on October 29th. We are on a Wednesday. This Saturday is week number 10 of the 2025 college football season. We are about to make our picks against the spread. We've got other news to go to. I had an interesting conversation today with the person who sent me the text message of yesterday, which did not happen. We're going to talk about that later on. Kay Struthers is in the house. The Walking Geek is here. Nick Kelsel. Charlie Atwood. We are going to lose. Charlie, so is everybody else. Not name Ohio State Buckeyes. Everybody else is going to lose to the same forces that we are. Penn State is going to lose to. Ryan Brooks is here. Bob Swanger is here. Steele Austin. Don Scruggs, MBM, Oklahoma State Cowboy. Rod Nix is in the house. Mr. Seminole. Preston from Greensboro. Very close. Preston, I was very close to having to sing the North Carolina Tar Heel fight song. You were real close to defeating the Virginia Cavaliers at home last Saturday. I was rooting for you, Preston from Greensboro. I was rooting for you. Nick Kelso, Rodney Richborg, the reigning undisputed college football world trivia champion is in the house. Richard L., Colorado Buffalo is here. Jose is here. We cleared our desk. MGC Sooner is here. Edward the Auburn Tiger is here. James Chapman is here. Caleb Ramirez is here. The Big Gun Shop. The Big Gun Shop. The Big Gun Shop. Rock and Rant is here. Bobby Hansen. I always want to say you are Bobby Heenan. Bobby Hansen, as an Iowa fan, I cringe when I hear that name. I don't know what name you're talking about. Mike Ferentz. Healing, Florida is in the house. My prof is here. Korea. Florida State is smart to be cautious about their next coach. Big coaching payouts are becoming a liability across college football. Better get the right guy in or pay a hefty price. Humble, bumble, duck. Good afternoon, Greg. I hope everyone's doing well. Looking forward to the bye weekend. David M. is in the house. The almighty Finn is here. Stephen McNeely. The Wild West is here to stay. Rico, these guys hate government, but want government when it benefits them. Hypocrites. Expedition Greg is in the house. Brando is in cahoots with Fickle, the evil badger. The evil badger believes that maybe Wisconsin, Fickle is giving disinformation for Brando to put it out there that the Gophers might lose Fleck to LSU. I'm trying to connect the dots, Jeff Olson. I'm trying to connect the dots. I don't believe any of that to be true. Dante's Inferno Purgatory is in the house. Who else is here? Don Scruggs. People can't handle the truth. Go Black 45. What did this idiot governor say or do now? Wendy Scruggs is in the house. Thanks for coming on in, Wendy. I very much appreciate it. Marcus Williams, go blue. Go blue. Okay. All right. First of all, I want to hit a few news items, and we got to make our picks against the spread here. But the College Sports Commission hires Katie, and I'm not going to get the name correct. I do apologize. Medarius, I have no idea how to pronounce it, as head of investigations and deputy general counsel. She's a former federal prosecutor. The CSC has hired who they wanted, Katie Medeiros, the head of investigations and deputy general counsel. The 2028 season championship, which is going to be played on January 22nd, 2029, is going to be played at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. 2029, January 22nd, 2029. So, if you're looking at the possibility of a different calendar year when it comes to the 2028 season, well, it's going to end about the same time. So therefore, if you're going to have a bigger playoff format, you might have to start the season a little bit earlier. Just putting that out there. Just putting that out there. But again, James Stadium, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida, is where the 2028 season national championship will be played, January 22nd, 2029. Tennessee needs Jermod McCoy to finally get into the season. The Tennessee, the All-American cornerback, continues the work to return this season. Bearing a setback, sources tell. He's getting close. He's getting close. The All-American was in pads at practice on Tuesday, but remains limited. We talked about it. Tennessee Volunteers defense, that secondary is horrific. Absolutely horrific. They remind me of the Miami Hurricanes secondary of last year. Great offense. Great offense. Some good frontline guys. Front seven, but the secondary is abysmal. This is the story that I'm going to be looking for. Jermon McCoy, can he get back? Can he be back for the end games of the season, especially against Vanderbilt? Especially if Tennessee can get into the playoffs. That is a main story that we are going to be looking at here, following here at Peek Around the Corner. We've got ourselves a gifted membership from Ricky Tungate. Thank you so very much. Mowing After Dark. The man, the myth, the legend, Moen received a gift. Moen, if you are in the house, please say thank you to Ricky as soon as possible in the chat room. Ricky and Moen. I can't believe a Hoosier and a Buckeye are together on this. But a Hoosier and a Buckeye, both of you are knighted cloak and dagger. Cloak and dagger. Thank you, Ricky Tungate. Thank you so very much for your generosity. Tim Bales is in the house. Thanks for coming on in. The Big Lubbock, thank you for coming on in. The governor's action might make potential candidates think twice, maybe, possibly. All right, you guys are going first here. Thank you, Ricky Tungate. I very much appreciate it. You guys are going first. You guys and gals. First game up to bat. Penn State, Ohio State. Again, this is Wednesday. This is the day we make our picks against the spread. And then we've got some things to talk about after we make these picks. So buckle up. Here we go. Does the Ohio State Buckeyes cover the minus 20.5 point spread versus Penn State? If you vote yes, you want the Buckeyes, and you are willing to give 20.5 points. If you vote no, you want the Nittany Lions receive 20.5 points. The voting begins now. Don Scruggs, that was a painful vote. Just saying. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 68% of the PATC Einsteins took the Ohio State Buckeyes to cover against Penn State. West Virginia, Houston. 14 and a half. 14 and a half. At home, Houston Cougars. Does Houston cover the minus 14 and a half point spread versus West Virginia? If you vote yes, you want the Cougars, and you are willing to give 14 and a half points. If you vote no, you want the Mountaineers and receive 14 and a half. The voting begins now. Daniel Gygax. Greg, just let me do your picks. Daniel Gygax, rumor has it you are number one. You are number one on the College Football Mafia show when it comes to picks against the spread. The Mountaineer Daniel Gygax becoming a legend. Or maybe he's already a legend when it comes to making picks against the spread. Maybe Daniel Gygax, everybody should listen to him. Look, he says West Virginia will win by 2 touchdowns. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 68% says yes. They are taking the Houston Cougars. The PATC Einsteins are not listening to Daniel Gygax. Unbelievable disrespect. All right, here we go. Vanderbilt, Texas. This game means so much to both programs. To Sarkisian, to Lee, this means so much. Does Texas cover the -2.5 point spread versus Vanderbilt. If you vote yes, you're taking the Longhorns and you're willing to give 2.5 points. If you vote no, you're taking the Commodores and you are receiving 2.5 points. The voting begins now. The Big Lubbock, Vandy wins. MBM, it's easy to win at DKR. We did it 5 times in a row. Dante's Inferno Purgatory, not touching that game. Wendy Scruggs, Vandy all day. Ryan Brooks, Vandy to win if Manning plays, but if he is out, 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 62% says no. The PATC Einsteins have taken Vanderbilt to cover. Miami Hurricanes. The SMU Mustangs. 10.5 points. 10.5 points. Does Miami cover the -10.5 point spread versus SMU? If you vote yes, that means you want the Hurricanes and you're willing to give 10.5 points. If you vote no, you want the Mustangs and you are going to receive 10.5 points. The voting begins now. Daniel Gygax, SMU, just too many points. Dante's Inferno Purgatory, SMU at home, take the points. MBM, Pony Express. Wow. 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 Five more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 66 says no. 66% says no. The Einsteins have taken SMU in a landslide. Wow. Wow. Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, going against Kansas State. 7.5 points. Now, this is a tough game. Very tough game. Does Texas Tech cover? Whoops, I keep screwing that up. Hold on. Cover the -7.5 points. Does Texas Tech cover the -7.5 point spread versus Kansas State? If you vote yes, you want the Red Raiders and you're willing to give 7.5 points. If you vote no, you want the Wildcats and you are going to receive 7.5 points. The voting begins right now. Very interesting game. Very interesting game. Five more seconds on the vote, and we got a landslide. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 70%. 70 are saying yes. 70 are saying Texas Tech is going to cover. Wow. What are we calling this now? The largest cocktail party in the country? The Bulldogs and the Gators? Except the Gators don't have Billy Napier as the head coach during this game. Does Georgia cover the minus 7.5 point spread versus Florida? If you vote yes, you want the Bulldogs and are willing to give 7.5 points. If you vote no, you're taking the Gators and you receiving 7.5 points. The voting begins now. Don Scruggs, watch your mouth, PATC. Don't lose your money. Ryan Brooks, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Don Scruggs, Dogs by 40. Expedition Greg, go Gators. Wendy Scruggs, UGA. Georgia, Georgia. I got Georgia on my mind. The Bulldogs might lose this Saturday. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 70% says yes. 70% has UGA. Virginia, California. The Cavaliers and the Golden Bears. Here we go. Does Virginia cover the minus 3.5 point spread versus California? If you vote yes, you want Virginia and are willing to give 3.5. If you vote no, you're taking the Golden Bears and you are going to receive 3.5 points. The voting begins now. The Big of Lubbock, that's a long trip for UVA. Son of Sarek, Cinderella slipper falls off. Cali wins. Five more seconds on the vote, and it's a tight one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Overtime. Next vote. Yes, Virginia covers. Virginia covers. 51-49, and the vote had to go in overtime. It was tied. Then the next vote decided, and it went Virginia. Virginia is the call for the PATC Einsteins. The Trojans, the Cornhuskers, Trojans given 6.5 points on the road at Lincoln. Does USC cover the minus 6.5 point spread versus Nebraska? If you vote yes, you want the Trojans willing to give 6.5 points. If you vote no, you want the Cornhuskers receive 6.5. The voting begins now. Ryan Brooks, remember, Virginia winning is the key to chaos in the 2014 playoffs. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. 5 more seconds on the vote, and we got another close one. We've got another close vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 51% says yes. We've got USC. USC is the vote. We've had a couple of close ones here. Wake Forest, Florida State. Does Florida State cover the minus 8.5 point spread versus Wake Forest? If you vote yes, you're willing have the Seminoles give 8.5 points. If you vote no, you want the Demon Deacons to receive 8.5 points. The voting begins now. The Almighty Finn. Florida State for the win, but they do not cover. Stephen McNeely. Hard to pick Florida State right now. Dante's Inferno Purgatory. Take the points. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No. Florida State's not going to cover. The Einsteins have taken Wake Forest. The Einsteins have taken Wake Forest. 2 more games to go. Week 10. Week 10. Does Tennessee cover the minus 3.5 point spread versus Oklahoma? If you vote yes, you're willing to give 3.5 points. The Volunteers are willing to give 3.5. If you vote no, you want the Sooners and receive 3.5 points. The voting begins now. Thank you, Wendy, for coming on in. I appreciate it. Son of Sarek, I picked the under. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 59% takes Tennessee. 59% takes Tennessee. And for the last game of the Week 10 slate, the undefeated in Big 12 play, the Cincinnati Bearcats at Utah. A very big game for the Big 12 conference race. Does Utah cover the minus 7.5 point spread versus Cincinnati? If you vote yes, you want the Utes and are willing to give 7.5 points. If you vote no, you want the Bearcats and receive 7.5 points. The voting begins now. Five more seconds on the vote. Wild Ute is in the house. Gygax on the Utes. Yes. You know what? Gygax power, Mr. Daniel Gygax power, does not transfer here in the studios in the middle of Louisville City, in which I am the mayor. Daniel Gygax's power is going to be eliminated. Eliminated. Sorry, Mr. Gygax, but you know what? In here, the pressure is so much more because there is such a dark cloud that hangs over the studio, that hangs over this mic, that hangs over the host. The PATC Einsteins have never had a winning record in the 4 years we've been doing this. So Daniel Gygax, the legend, here in PATC country. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No. 63% says no. And the PATC Einsteins have taken Cincinnati. All right, so what you all did was the following. You know what? I'll go through that when I'm done. We'll go through all of our picks. All right. These are my picks against the spread. Very quickly. Penn State, Ohio State. Well, I'm not really sure why this line is only 20.5. Buckeyes win this going away. Buckeyes cover this easily. Easy game, Buckeyes cover. Houston and West Virginia. I'm going to take the West Virginia Mountaineers. 14.5 points is too much. I happen to agree with Daniel Gygax on this. I happen to agree with them. I've got the Mountaineers. I do believe the Cougars' defense is legit. It's pretty good. It's not Red Raiders good. It's not Buckeyes good. But it's a pretty good defense. Should be respected. Probably going to be a little bit lower scoring game than many, it's 49.5, so it's not even in the 50s. I've got the Mountaineers covering. I got Houston winning. Vanderbilt, Texas. I got Vandy. I think Vandy wins this game by 2 touchdowns. I tell you what, if the Commodores get up on Texas, they're not going to give it up. Texas has to come out and take the lead right off the bat with their backup quarterback. I don't think Manning is going to play. I got the Commodores winning by a couple of touchdowns. Obviously, I got Vanderbilt covering this game. This is a tricky game, ladies and gentlemen. I was on SMU at least one point during Monday or Tuesday, but Miami's going to be up by 4. 6 minutes to go in the game. It's going to be a 3rd and 8. Carson Beck is going to go back to pass. Number 10, Malachi Toney is going to put a double move on somebody. Beck is going to give him the ball. He's going to catch it. He's going to break a couple of tackles. He's going to rumble, bumble, stumble down to the 3-yard line. Miami's going to punch it in with 4.5 minutes to go. Miami goes up 11. SMU doesn't come back and score. The Hurricanes cover because of the great Malachi Toney late in the 4th quarter. Miami covers. The Red Raiders and Kansas State. Yeah, I'm sorry. Look, we know, I don't know what the Red Baron Morton, I don't know what type of shape he's in. We know Will Hammond, the backup quarterback, very capable backup quarterback, is out for the rest of the season. I don't even think it matters. I think you can put Daniel Gygax in at quarterback. I think you can put MBM as quarterback for the Red Raiders. I think you can put Rod Nix at quarterback for the Red Raiders. I think you can put Don Scruggs. Now, Don Scruggs would blow it. But the rest of you guys, The rest of you guys, if you were the quarterback of the Red Raiders, they would be just fine. That nasty, 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 great defense of theirs is going to shut down Avery Johnson. Dylan Edwards is nicked up. He ain't playing. The Wildcats are going to get shut down. The Red Raiders are winning this game, going away on the road as they make another big statement in the 2025 season. The Red Raiders cover it. The largest cocktail party, outdoor cocktail party, excuse me, I'm just a big old northerner, northern Minnesota with my horrific accent. I don't know nothing about the largest outdoor cocktail party, but I do know this. The Georgia Bulldogs, unfortunately, are going to cover. They're going to beat the Gators. Gators don't have really a head coach. The Bulldogs are going to keep it together, and they are going to win going away. Another game that's really not going to be close. The Bulldogs cover. Now, Greg doesn't even speak good English. That is correct. You are correct. Virginia versus California. This is going to be a close game. It is going to be close. But it ain't going to be 3.5 points close. I've also got Virginia. The PATC Einsteins took Virginia, and you had to go in overtime to pick Virginia, which is only really the correct way to do it because Virginia has won 3 overtime games this season. And the PATC Einsteins, it took you guys overtime to predict Virginia to win this game. So that is even more of a message from the maroon and gold God in the sky that the Cavaliers are going to win and they're going to cover. Virginia is the pick. This is the easiest game on the slate. This is what we call a 5-star gold lock. Nebraska got beat up by the Gophers. The Gophers have been beaten up by anybody else who had a pulse. Nebraska goes against Northwestern, and look, I gotta say it how it is. I love you Cornhusker fans. I think you're incredible. I think you're great. Great fan base. But I did a watch party. We sat here. I did the watch party. I did the Indiana game, right? And we did the Nebraska Northwestern game. When Indiana was doing their blowout victory, we switched to the Nebraska Northwestern game as the primary watch party. I said it then. I'm going to say it now. I thought Nebraska looked horrible against Northwestern. I really did. I thought they were horrific. When that game was 21-21, I was like, holy smokes. If Northwestern had a capable quarterback, they would have done to Nebraska what Minnesota did to Nebraska. USC, the Trojans' offense, they're going to be finding the end zone many, 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 many times over. And Dylan Raiola, as talented as he is with his arm, is not going to be able to keep up. He's not going to be able to keep up. Even against the Trojans defense, he's not going to be able to keep up. He's going to find himself on his back. Gentry is going to slice and dice. They're going to blitz enough. The offensive line is horrific. They're not going to give the ball enough to Emmett Johnson. They're not going to give him screen passes enough. USC is going to flat outscore the Cornhuskers by a lot. This game is an absolute lock. Take the USC Trojans. The USC Trojans is our 5-star lock of the week. Wake Forest Florida State. I got Wake Forest along with you all. I don't know what to expect. I got no idea. Wake Forest, again, Wake Forest has had a very good year. Very good year. They did a walk-off field goal victory against SMU. That was impressive, even though SMU's offense is struggling. But I can't. Can anybody see Florida State beating anybody by 10 points? Florida State has not won an ACC conference game for over a calendar year. The last time Florida State won a conference game is when Mike Norvell was 42 years old. Mike Norvell is 44 years old right now. And you are trying to tell me that Florida State is not only going to win this game, but they're going to cover? They're going to cover, and they're going to cover at home? When the first negative play that the Seminoles have in this game, there's going to be boos cascading over the stadium? Nah. No, I'm taking the Demon Deacons. Demon Deacons to cover 8.5 points. Oklahoma, Tennessee. This is a tough game because we've been talking about the Volunteers' defense. The secondary is horrific. Oklahoma's offense is not. The Sooners' offense is not. It ain't what it was. For whatever reason. And it's probably multiple reasons. So I don't know if the Sooners are going to be able to take advantage of the Volunteers' issues, deep issues in the secondary. I'm still going to take Oklahoma to cover. I'm going to take Oklahoma to cover, but this was a tough game. This was a tough game. Cincinnati, Utah, the last game on the list. And I got to take 7.5 points. Cincinnati has everything to play for. 7.5 is too much. I'm taking the Bearcats. I'll take the 7.5. I probably would have taken the Bearcats at 6.5. At 5.5, probably not. 6.5, yes. 7.5, I'm taking the Bearcats. So, that is it. We are done with week 10 games against the spread. We're going to go through them once again real quick. We both took the Buckeyes. I took the Mountaineers. The PATC Einsteins took the Cougars. We both took Vanderbilt. I took the Miami Hurricanes. You all took SMU. I've got the Red Raiders. You all got the Red Raiders. We both took the Bulldogs of Georgia. We both took Virginia against California. We both took USC. We both took Wake Forest. I took Oklahoma. You all took Tennessee, and we both took Cincinnati. So that is our picks against the spread for week 10. Thank you guys very much for doing that. I do much appreciate it. I really look forward to our picks every single Wednesday during the week. Thank you so very much. We've got a huge super chat. Incredible generosity by MBM. The Cowboy, the Oklahoma State Cowboy. MBM pitching in for an audit of the Loserville City books. All that glitters is fool's gold. It is Loserville City, and I am the re-elected mayor. 62-59 still doesn't cut it when it comes to paying the juice at Vegas. So 62-59 record is a loser record. I gotta finish strong. I gotta finish strong here. And you Einsteins at 58-63. But I am open to having an audit done. I don't think you're gonna find more of a loser than me when it comes to making picks against the spread over the last 4 years. If you did an audit, I'm hoping that you could find a win or two that I did not give myself credit for. I can't possibly see MBM doing an audit and finding out more losses than I put down on public record. I think that's almost impossible. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, alrighty, guys. Let me just check my notes real quick. We've got a lot of things popping in here. Okay. All right. Okay, all right. All right, okay. Let's take a look at this. The NCAA has adopted emergency legislation specifying that D1 athletes can lose eligibility if NIL deals aren't reported. If a school discovers an athlete may not have reported a deal, it has 2 days to review and report to the College Sports Commission. If a deal isn't then reported, the athlete is ineligible. The athlete is ineligible. The NCAA has adopted an emergency legislation specifying D1 athletes can lose eligibility if NIL deals are not reported. If a school discovers an athlete may not have reported a deal, it has 2 days to review and report to this. Oh boy. All right. All right. Let's go. Let's go. And of course, you all know that PATC fully endorses the College Sports Commission. Fully endorses. So go after the cheaters. Go after them. I want the lawsuits to fly. I want the CSC to come down hard. How about them apples? How about them apples? Re-elected PATC as mayor. All right, so that we've got one breaking news there. Let me see here. The Minnesota Twins has just hired a new Twins manager, Derek Shelton. And again, this is the new world of college football. The new world of college football. Pete Thamel, a sign of the NIL era. The talent is spreading out. Houston commit Keyshawn Henderson is the new QB1 in the nation in the updated Next 300. The 5-star has been ridiculously productive this fall and comes in as the number 4 overall prospect in the country. But the number 1 quarterback in the country in recruiting class is committed to the Houston Cougars. Willie Fritz and the Houston Cougars. Another sign, like Pete Thamel said, where the talent is getting a little bit spread out. Of course, the top programs are going to have the most talent. We know that. But the talent is getting a little bit more spread out. I believe, plus Chaos, I think is going to be coming to the playoffs this year. Go Virginia. I think this is all going to lead to a larger college football playoff format, larger conferences, more imbalanced scheduling, more top teams not playing each other in conference play because you're not going to have divisions, and chaos, more talent being spread out, more parity, more upsets, larger college football playoff format. Let's go. Oh, great. Another Archie Manning. Okay, before we go to the phone calls, I did have a text message yesterday from somebody that I trust immensely. And I did not categorize this person. I did not say that they were a money perch. I did not say he was BTM or his associates. I did not say this person was a part of the chatter behind the curtain. I did not say this person was part of an administration. I did not say this person was part of media company. And I'm not going to categorize this person again today. But he gave me a text message that said the following. News coming on 29th. Today's the 29th. Most likely morning event. Clear your desk. I was very busy this morning. I was very busy all the way up to about 2 o'clock this afternoon. If something would have happened, I would not have been able to do anything about it. I would not have been able to come on live. I did not know if something happened or not. That's how busy I was. I'm not able to check. I got a busy life. So at about 2 o'clock, a little bit before 2 o'clock, I reached out and said, did it happen? Whatever you were telling me that is going to happen, most likely a morning event, did it happen? And the person responded back to me, no, it did not happen. And he says, but it is going to happen. And so I said, can you give me, since you told me that it was going to happen and it did not happen, don't you think, I didn't say it that way, but don't you think you can give me a little bit of, a little bit of something, to let me know what this could be about? And this person says it is a financial deal having to do with one of the Power Four conferences. A financial deal, a financial deal. A financial relationship deal, something like that. So that's all he would say. He does believe it's going to be coming out soon. So, but now we know that it's not a coaching. I didn't think it was a coaching thing. It wasn't going to be conference affiliation type of thing. I had no idea what it was. But he is saying it's a conference-wide financial deal. Maybe it's a new sponsorship. I don't know. That was it. That was all that was said. So keep an eye open for the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC, some sort of financial deal. I do not believe this is a public capital. This doesn't have to do with the Big 10 public investment. At least I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I think he would have told me that. He definitely would have told me that if that was the case. No, I don't think it's that. So something, I think some sort of, I don't know. But enough that it's going to be a big enough story to where I would have had to clear my desk and cover it. It did not happen. It definitely did not happen today. So my bad, but we're going to see what happens tomorrow. But that is the situation. Do not think it's about that. I don't think it's about I don't really think it's about that. Rico, well, I'll expect him to decommit now. Yeah, a commitment is just a commitment, right? Has he signed any papers? Has he signed an NIL paper? All that. Okay, guys, we're going to open up the phone lines. We are getting ready. 763-260-1333. 763-260-1333. Call us and talk about anything in college football that your heart desires. Again, this Friday night, Memphis plays at Rice. I may have an opportunity to do a watch party on that game. I might have the opportunity to do a watch party on that game. I'll let you guys know on Thursday or on Friday if I can lock that in. Memphis at Rice, a very important game in the American Conference and for the college football playoff race, obviously. Let's take a look at the American. Right, you got Memphis at 3-1. They really cannot afford another conference loss. Rice is at 1-3, 4-4 overall. Memphis cannot afford another loss in the conference. They're behind Tulane and the Navy midshipmen. And again, Memphis is favored on the road by 2 touchdowns, 13.5 points. Penn State, Ohio State, Vanderbilt, Texas, Miami, SMU, West Virginia, Houston, Rutgers, Illinois. A lot of very interesting noon games right off the bat, right? Texas, Vanderbilt at noon Eastern time, 11 in the morning Central. Miami, SMU, 12 noon Eastern time. Houston, West Virginia, 12 noon Eastern time. Navy, North Texas, 12 noon Eastern time. A lot of interesting games right out the bat. Louisville at Virginia Tech. Louisville needs to keep winning. Louisville, a big road game for the Cardinals. Indiana, are they going to be able to keep up their dominance at Maryland? 3:30 Eastern time, CBS. The largest cocktail party in the world. Georgia, Florida, 3:30 Eastern time. Notre Dame at Boston College. Texas Tech, Kansas State. We are going to go ahead and skip over the Sparty Gopher game. Panthers, Stanford. Virginia, California. Ole Miss at home against South Carolina. 7 o'clock Eastern Time evening game. Oklahoma, Tennessee, 7:30 Eastern game. The Trojans at Nebraska, 7:30 Eastern game. Hugh Freeze, can he keep his job? Auburn's got to win this game for Hugh Freeze to have a chance to keep his job. Cincinnati at Utah, 10:15 Eastern Time. The Bearcats, undefeated in Big 12 play, going on the road against Utah, the 17th versus the 24th ranked teams in the country. Ray McCoy, Florida State needs to, I think, probably get rid of Norvell and go get James Franklin right away. They would immediately improve the high school recruiting and compete for the ACC title. If not, Franklin gets Summerall from Tulane. Ray McCoy, thanks for coming on in. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. We got a super chat. Super chat, the Evil Badger, Ryan Willey. I agree with fellow Evil Badger Jeff Olson about Tim Brando. Oh boy, the Evil Badgers are combining their powers in the PATC chat room. I don't know what you guys said about Tim Brando. I don't remember what Jeff Olson said about Tim Brando. Oh, about Luke Fickell being in cahoots with Tim Brando for Minnesota to lose PJ Fleck to LSU. I don't know. I think you guys, Ryan Willie and Jeff Olson, you are either onto something or you are on something. And I'm going to go ahead and push my chips to the middle of the table and say both of you are quite possibly on something. But we shall see. We shall see. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your generosity, my friend Ryan Willie. I very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. Expedition Greg, the Buckeyes will win this weekend. Well, that's what usually happens. That's what usually happens. I think the cultural fit would not work. Let's put it that way. I don't think that would work. But who knows? Who knows? The PJ Fleck going to LSU would probably cause a riot at LSU, I'm guessing. Gators Online, which is on 3, has a very interesting article on why Jeff Brom would be an amazing, terrific hire. You know, Jeff Brom, we've talked about him. He is... He's obviously been a very good head coach. Very good head coach. We talked about his offense, where Jeff Brom gets a quarterback that needs to have a very high IQ. Number one, because his offense is basically ran by the quarterback with the options, with all the options that Jeff Brom gives the quarterback. And Jeff Brom he usually does not have a mobile quarterback. But what he does not do max protection. What Jeff Brom does is basically run the West Coast offense, where your running backs are going out in your running backs in the backfield are going out on pass routes, and your quarterback has to make quick decisions. Everybody has to know who is the hot routes. Everybody has got to be on their P's and Q's when it comes to the Jeff Brom offense. When Jeff Brom has the guys to run the offense, it is very difficult to stop, even against a great team. That's why Jeff Brom has a lot of wins against top 5 opponents, because his offense, when it is running, when he's got everybody, when he doesn't have the injuries, when he's got a senior-laden team, when he's got everything running good, Jeff Brom is very difficult to stop. At Louisville, it wasn't done by mistake that he went and got Miller Moss. Now, he's been struggling a little bit, but he's the exact guy Jeff Brom likes to have run this type of offense. And then he's got that great running back who's also been nicked up this year. So there's a lot of positive things about Jeff Brom. Okay, he's going to run your offense a little bit differently, though. For most of you guys, he's not going to have a mobile quarterback. He's going to have a guy who needs to basically run, needs to be able to audibilize, needs to be able to check off, needs to know to unload the ball quickly, because he's not going to have that extra man protecting him. Basically run the West Coast offense. But one of the negative things about Jeff Brom, that I have heard over the years is that he is very prickly when dealing with people outside of his athletic. Well, he's a very prickly type of guy, allegedly, when dealing with boosters, media, anybody outside of his football team. So at Louisville, it doesn't really matter, because Jeff Brom is the favorite son of Louisville. The boosters are going to put up with him. But if he took like a Florida job, where the head coach of Florida is going to have to schmooze with boosters that have been in Gainesville for decades, can Jeff Brom be their guy? I don't know. He does not kiss babies and he doesn't shake hands. Absolutely. So, in my opinion, it depends on, like Virginia Tech. Would the Virginia Tech boosters, do they even care that Jeff Brom ain't going to, I don't think they would care. I don't think Virginia Tech's going to get Jeff Brom. I think Virginia Tech's probably going to get a really good coach that they're very excited for. But I'm just giving an example. Florida, I don't know. He ain't going to have a fake Southern accent. No question about that. The whole Jeff Brom thing is very interesting because he's a very good coach. Very successful coach. But he's going to do it his way, right? He's going to do it his way. He's not going to have, Jeff Brom is going to instill his offense. And it might not work for the players that you got currently on the team, but he's going to make it work. He's going to bring in guys, He runs his offense. You go watch him. You go watch Louisville. They've got everybody out there on the passing tree and the quarterback football intelligence is so important in a Jeff Brom offense. He's not going to have a guy who does not know what he's doing. All right, phone lines are open. 763-260-1333. 763-260-1333. Let me know what you're thinking here in college football. If not, again, this is a Wednesday. Our Wednesday shows are always shorter than our other shows during the week because I'm a very busy man on Wednesday, unfortunately. Nick Saban. Whoops. Hold on. Nick Saban on college sports. We're letting G League players, basketball, come play in college. Pretty soon we're going to have the New York Giants backup quarterback not getting enough development. So we're going to send him to Penn State or somewhere else for a year to play. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Why not make these kids professionals, treat them like professionals, and collective bargain the whole thing? Nick Saban putting out what he believes. I would love to collect the bargain, but again, I don't know how it's going to happen. Don't know how it could possibly happen. Nick Boardman, Virginia Tech just wants a guy that keeps Virginia dudes in state and win 9 to 10 games a year, be a perennial top 25 like we used to be with Beamer Sr. I'm assuming that Nick Boardman would not be interested in Shane Beamer. Let me know, Nick Boardman. Let me know. Dave Chauncey, 25-team playoff, Greg. Lean into the top 25 as part of the college football culture. No, I like the 24 team. I'm on board with the 24 team. This is the 24 CFP War Room. I can't get it mixed up with any other format. I don't want to mess up the brand. I don't want to mess up the effort. 24 CFP War Room. Right here, the studio. PATC studio. Ray McCoy, Florida will end up with Jedd Fisch from Washington. He's a Florida guy, and that is what is need. The interim coach, Billy Gonzalez, will be a breath of fresh air for the Gators for the rest of the season. Thank you for the comment, Ray McCoy. Jedd Fisch, yep, he's a Florida guy. No question about it. No question about it. Don Scruggs not shaking hands in the South will get your butt kicked. Alrighty, I want to thank those who donated to this channel tonight to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel. Thank you, John Till. Thank you, Ricky Tungate. Thank you, Mr. Cowboy MBM, for your very generous super chat. Thank you, Eva Badger, Ryan Willie. Nobody gave us a call today. We had open line Tuesday. We had plenty of calls. No calls on this Wednesday. We made our picks against the spread. We got the work done. Buckle up, brace for impact. We still got Thursday and Friday for this week. and for this month as we head into week number 10. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to our channel, get yourself notified, and smash the like button before you leave. It helps us with the YouTube algorithms so very much. I appreciate you all coming on in. I'm very humbled that you would join us on a Wednesday late afternoon, October 29th. From all of us at PATC to all of you, please, until next time, please, you all take great care of each other. And as always, God, family, Golden Gopher.